Jai Hind to everyone. I am Gaurav Srivastava, Assistant Professor in Electrical and Electronics Department from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. So, right now today we have discussed about Introduction to Renewable Energy Resources. So, this topic is correlated to the subject Renewable Energy Resources, subject code KUE 074, which is affiliated to the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University. So, this is a final year open elective subject in which the student can learn about different type of non-conventional energy resources. Generally, we are using the conventional resources, energy resources, and you can say the mostly energy development in India as well as the abroad, all over the world, that is the conventional, like coal, which we can say the thermal power plant. So, mostly we are using the coal as a resources for the electricity production, and then you can say the nuclear energy resources and the other conventional sources like hydro ho gaya, as well as the diesel or gas bio plant. So, right now we have shifted towards generation to the non-renewable to the renewable, or you can say the non-conventional to the conventional to the non-conventional energy resources. So, here we can discuss about different type of energy sources which are available, and then we can say the energy forms and their availability. So, definitely we will discuss about difference between conventional and the non-conventional energy resources, and then classifications like which type of conventional non-conventional energy resources available with us. So, like wind energy, solar energy, tidal wave energy. So, these three topics to cover in our today's session, and rest of their session topics will be covered to the another session. So, like their introduction, their availability, relativity, merit and demerits can be discussed about today's lecture. Otherwise, we can say broadly classified about wind, what is the wind energy, how it is produced, their availability, different sources, their mechanism, their classification. There you can say the where different type of windmills established in India as well as the abroad. What is the current capacity for the generation point of view in India and abroad. So, these are widely topics which are covered, but here we will discuss about their introduction part as well as their merits and the demerits with their availability. So, like here, just one take an example like renewable energy, and that is a non-renewable. Mostly we are using the non-renewable energy resources like coal, fuel oil, nuclear, natural gases. That is the main sources for the energy production, but time to time these sources are the limited, and sometimes, or you can say the after some years, decades, these sources are the stop. So, what we can to generate electricity? So, that's why we are shifted to the non-renewable energy sources to the renewable energy resources, which is available with us for a long time, or you can say the lifetime basis, like solar. Sun is available with us all times, so that solar energy can be utilized for the higher production. Similarly, hydropower, biomass, geothermal, wind energy, MHD, magneto hydro generator, and you can say the fuel cell, ocean thermal, so lot of renewable energy sources available with us. So, we have shifted to generation of the electricity through the renewable energy resources. So, firstly goes to the what is the energy, why we are required. So, basically the energy of a body is the capacity to do work. So, it is a measure that the total amount of the work that the body can do it. So, energy is the primary and the most universal measure for the human beings as well as the nature. So there is a different energy sources available with us, that is known as the primary energy sources, secondary fuels and the supplementary fuels. So, what is the primary energy sources? So, primary energy sources which are available with us are like coal, natural gases, oil and the nuclear energy. So, these are the primary sources for the energy generation, and we have generated electricity through the mostly you can this facility. Then what is the secondary fuels? Secondary fuels, that is the non-conventional. Okay. So like that is the conventional sources you can say, or non-renewable and what is the secondary fuels? Those which are produced no net energy even though it is necessary for the economy. Solar energy, wind, geothermal energy, tidal, ocean thermal, fuel cell. So these secondary fuels as known as the non-conventional or renewable. And what is the supplementary sources? That is defined as the those whose net energy yield is zero and those requiring highest investment in terms of the energy like insulation energy. So that is the three basic different classification of the energy resources. And now we have moved find out the different form of energy. So different forms of energy which are available as the mechanical, thermal or the heat energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, nuclear energy, electromagnetic, gravitational. So we can define as a 7 classification of the different forms of energy which are available with us. So like chemical energy you can utilize in a fuel cell directly. You are converted the chemical energy into electricity. Thermal or the heat you can using the coal एज ए थर्मल की हाँ उसकी थर्मल और हीट एनर्जी को हम यूटिलाइज करते हैं फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द मैकेनिकल एनर्जी एंड देन मैकेनिकल एनर्जी इज कन्वर्टेड टू द इलेक्ट्रिकल बाय द अल्टरनेटर. Nuclear energy, electromagnetic. So there is a different types of forms which are available with us for the production of energy, or you can say the utilization of the energy. So today's sources and their availabilities. So today's every country draws its energy needs from a variety of sources which are available with us. We can broadly categorize these sources as a commercial as the non-commercial. And the commercial sources including the fossil fuels like coal, oil and the natural gases, hydroelectric power and the nuclear power. While the non-commercial sources including the wood, animal waste or the agricultural waste. So these are the using for the biogas generation, and fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gases, hydroelectric power plant, nuclear power plant, that is the conventional sources for the production of electricity. So there is a classification or the availability. So like again conventional energy sources and what is the non-conventional energy resources. So we can already discuss about what is the basic difference between conventional and the non-conventional. So conventional, like these are accumulated in a nature over a long span of time and cannot be quickly replenished when it is exhausted, and these are known as the non-conventional energy resources. Sorry, that is the coal, petroleum, natural gas, nuclear fuels like uranium and the thorium. So these sources are available with a particular time, for a particular time, not a long time you can say these sources are available. So at a time, after some time decay, there is a exhausted and finished. So what we can do is we can utilize the non-conventional energy resources for the electricity production. So these sources of the energy can be used again in the endless manners, like sun, heat, solar energy. So basically sun is available, so you can say the solar energy can be produced as a endless manner and it is continuous available with us whenever life we have. These energy can be generated continuously in a nature and are inexhaustible. That means it is not finishable. कि हाँ, after some times you can say the sources are finished. What we can do? So these sources are available with us lifetime and continuously. So like solar energy, geothermal energy, wind energy, ocean, fuel cell, MHD. So these types of sources are called a non-conventional energy sources, or you can say the renewable energy resources. So here we can or broadly classify conventional energy sources. Like this energy is used for the heating, cooking, transportation and the manufacturing plant. Energy can be generally classified as a non-renewable and the renewable. Over 85% of the energy used in the world is from the non-renewable energy supplies. It clearly shows that we only using the 15% of the energy requirement in the world by the renewable sources. 85% from the fossil oil like coal, oil, nuclear. So these fuels are for the limited time. So we now to move shifted from 85%, 15% to the 85% so that we can use this energy. Most developed nations are dependent on their non-renewable energy sources such as fossil fuels, coal and oil and the nuclear power. So like developed, and these sources are called non-renewable because they cannot be renewed or regenerated quickly enough to keep pace with their use. कि हाँ जैसे यूज है क्योंकि लाइफ कोल को जनरेट होने के लिए एक पूरी सेंचुरी रिक्वायरमेंट होती है कि देन यू कैन से द कोल माइंस आर अवेलेबल. Similarly, we can say the oil. So these are long term generation point. So it cannot be generated quickly like with our pace life. So we want to shift it our energy requirement from the sources from conventional to the non-conventional. Nuclear, hydraulic, fossil fuel energy, that is called as the conventional energy resources. Then what is the non-conventional? So using energy from sources which cannot be used up to sun, wind, waters, waves support sustainable development by reducing their carbon emission. So definitely when are using the non-conventional sources, so we have a less carbon emission, you can say the less pollutions. This contributes to increasing energy and climate security for many communities across the world. Renewable energy comes from sources which cannot be used up such as the wind, sun, water and the waves rather than from sources such as oil and the coal. तो हमारे पास बहुत ही लिमिटेड टाइम्स के लिए रहता है कोल एंड वुड, बट वाटर, सन, विंड, वेव्स, so these are the fossil fuel which are the sources available with us a long time, or the not you can say the read or measure the scale कि हाँ how much this facility is available and how much time to require to compensate it. It is available with a long time lifetime. So like here we can describe as to sum up in the brief like wind, biomass, solar, hydroelectric, geothermal, wave and tidal wave, fuel cell, MHD. So that is called as a non-conventional or renewable energy sources. Okay. So now we have seen the collaborative wave ki haan, what is the maximum percentage share of the each and every resources in terms of non-conventional. Like as India is a developing country, so most power chemicals we can say the renewable including hydro comprises approximate 36.2 at India's total installed capacity, which is solar accounting for 9.8%. Among renewable source account 27 installed. Like here we can say the 53.48 is generated through the coal, gas 6.7, nuclear 1.8, lignite 1.89, diesel 1.9, and rest 36.2% energy generation in India through the renewable. In 36.2 percentage, you can say the hydro, large hydro cover approximate 12.3%, wind 10.1, solar 9.8, biomass power, that is the approximate 2.7, and small hydro projects power generation, that is a 1.39. So again you can say the among renewables solar accounts for 27, like सोलर जो आपका 9.8% है, that is a 27.2% of the total installed capacity of the renewable sources. So here we want to shift कि हाँ आपका renewable 36.2 है and rest आपका approximate कितना हो रहा है 73.8%, 63.8. So 63.8 production from the fossil fuel, fossil fuel, and only 36.2% is from the renewable. So we have to shift it from this to this so that we can utilize our resources and save the fossil fuels and dependent on the energy generation on the non-conventional energy resources. So first one we have discussed about wind energy, their introduction, their availability. So what is the wind energy? So basically wind energy is utilized generation by the wind turbines, which is either situated in the onshore or the offshore location. So what will happen in the wind energy? We can using the kinetic energy of the wind is measured as a cubic proportion or to its velocity. Like when it is rotate through the wind, what will happen? Their kinetic energy is generated because the wings is rotated continuously through the wind. So their kinetic energy is rotation, through the rotation is kinetic energy is available, and the generator, through the generator point we can say the kinetic energy converted to the mechanical energy as a then we alternate to production of the electricity. So आप यहाँ पर टर्बाइंस लगा सकते हैं जो आपको kinetic energy से mechanical energy में generation देगा, and then you can say the alternator, so mechanical to electric energy production. So essentially in the water pumping we can say the various requirement of this like water pumping, windmills, irrigation fields, navigation. So there is a various application where we can use the wind energy. Wind energy is utilized by means of the windmills. So that is called windmills कि हाँ we can situate it, installed. Many projects on the windmill systems for water pumping and for production of small amount of electrical power have been taken up in our country as well. So like here some of the examples where we can develop a different windmills in our country, like Kazri windmills at the Jodhpur, Rajasthan. So basically these windmills are not situated in a city's location. They have to required as a open space where we can fully utilize the wind, because we want to a high velocity of the wind so that they can move and move again and circulate it so that they can generate the kinetic energy. WT water pumping windmills by the NL Bangalore, MP1 sail windmill at Bangalore's windmills at the Central Salt and Marine Chemicals Research Institute, Bhavnagar, Gujarat, Bangalore, Madurai, Ajmer. So there are different types of the windmills which are used, and their production capacity is also different. So like his, you can see here कि हाँ 3 blades pin, two blades pin, 4 blades pin, different types of wind structure is available for the energy production. So like they, through the wind they are rotating, and here we can using the boxes for the production of electricity. So right now we will move about their advantages or disadvantages. Definitely all the renewable energy sources, we can say their abundance, availability for no price. Whenever we are using the conventional energy sources like fuel or as a nuclear energy sources, may uranium extra or the gas, diesel, so they have some prices with a limited availability, but due to their conventional sources, they have available with us abundance with the no price. Useful at the remote places also for the electricity generation, because we have seen the conventional sources, what will happen, we have required to set up a near the like coal site where we can install, because if you develop the plant out very far distance through the coal mine, what will happen, the coal transportation cost will be increases. So overall you can say the unit price of the electricity increases, but conventional non-conventional energy sources, or you can say renewable energy sources plant, can be situated or developed at the site location where we have to require to generate the electricity. Non-polluting and eco-friendly, definitely we don't generate any fuels or burn the fuels, so carbon generation and other we don't use it, so it is a very eco-friendly and non-polluting. Can be utilized for the end user also, such as hybrid energy sources, wind photovoltaic, suitable for power supply at the offshore and the onshore, such as hilly region sites where cheaper installation cost and almost negligible running recurring expensive. If you are not using the fuel, so definitely fuel cost is low, and there are different type of machining or the infrastructure required, very less infrastructure required, so their mechanical equipment is very less, so their efficiency is high, as well as their operational cost is very low, maintenance cost is low, but as well as the installation cost is very low. Demerits, definitely some when we have discussed about any advantages of any technology, so there is some limitation as well as their demerits or the restriction, like less favorable in the city location, as the wind is available at the higher location only, because in the city what will happen, there is a various buildings and the structure is available, so they can stop the wind, which is major requirement for the wind energy productions. It is unreliable and intermittent, is not available regularly. Definitely they have we don't have the regular winds like they have running continuously 15 to 20 kilometers per hour winds is available. So there is some flexibility key, like sometimes they have to 20 to 25 kilometers per hour wind speed is available, or sometimes 1 to 5 kilometers per hour. So it is non regularly. Flow of wind is not guaranteed throughout the year. So definitely it is used for continuous supply power station is not feasible, because when the wind is not available as a required velocity, so what will happen, the production is low, so we can not directly set up through the power station, we using the alternative sources as well. Due to malfunctioning nature of the wind blowing, the produced mechanical energy has to be stored by some means, that is the battery or the storage. कि आपका wind generation हो रहा है तो electricity produce हो रही है, तो उस produce electricity को we have to require to store, and this is storage by the batteries. Present day wind energy systems are sources of immense noise pollution. डेफिनेट थोड़ा सा वॉइस रहता है, वॉइस नॉइस क्रिएट होते हैं क्योंकि टर्ब विंड्स मिल्स हैं तो रोटेट करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली सम नॉइस क्रिएट होगा, तो दैट्स व्हाई दे हैव स्टेटेड अ ऑफ शोर लोकेशन. That is more about wind energy, their classification, their different types of turbines, their equations in electricity production. So, we have discussed in brief after that. So, here we can discuss about their only merits and the demerits and their introduction as well as the availability. Second, second major energy resources, that is a solar energy after the wind. So, solar energy is a clean and abundantly available renewable energy sources. Like total radiation energy of the sun is vast, out of very fraction gets incidence on the atmosphere at the atmosphere is 30% of the, it's directly reflected back to the outer space in the short wave radiation. So, 47% is directly converted to the heat, that is lot. Sun radiates its energy in all direction of the universe, we can say. Sunlight received during day hours and a clearly sky has power density between 5 to 10. Solar energy varies with seasons, geographical location, day and night. So, we can define that the like we do not get the power from 24/7, but they have a like in a day you can say the approximate 6 to you can say the 6 p.m. as a summer and the winter and their rainy season. There is some when clouds is available, we do not find out the exact power generation. Like here we can generated a different solar cell is connected to the, so they can generated a solar array to produce the electricity. So they have required large space for the energy production. So definitely they have a merits but some demerits also. Like again noiseless operation, like in the wind energy we can see there is a some noise is available due to the movement of the turbines uh, windmills. But here there is a noiseless operation, occupies less space on floor as there is a no need of storage vessels. जो डेफिनेटली आपके पास जो भी पावर जनरेटेड हो रही है आप उसको डायरेक्टली ट्रांसमिट कर सकते हो, लेस स्पेस ऑन द फ्लोर कि आप छत पे लगा सकते हो, कहीं पे भी उसको कर सकते हो. Cheaper initial cost and no need of containers storage the fuels. In most of the equipments, the maintenance cost is negligible. In most of the equipment do not require any serious attention during the work, like food will be cooked simply putting a solar cooker in a sunlight. So, these are various advantages which is find out in a solar energy. Demerits, solar equipments fail to work in a night, cloudy day or a rainy season. So, main drawbacks of this technology is that is a in a winter or the cloudy season, night time, because at the night time in India we have the source sun availability. Larger space is required for the collection of solar energy at a useful rate. Definitely we can set up this facility in our home as well, but with a limited equipments running. So, for the larger, if you want a large scale application utilization or the generation of electricity for the useful rate, we have to require a large space requirement. Like tidal. What is the tidal energy? So, basically tidal power exploits the movement of the water caused by the total currents on the rise or the fall in the sea levels due to their tides. We can see here. So, different tides are coming here. So, what will happen? Their moment. So, then why we have situated the mills. So, like they have rotated and the electricity we can say the generation of the electricity. Although not yet widely used as compared to the solar and the wind energy, but it has potential for future electricity generation and is more predictable than the wind energy and the solar power, because we know that the water availability in our country or the world. This technology required to harness tidal energy is too well established, or it remains expensive, and there are relatively few applications, around 40 worldwide. So till now only 40 applications installed in a worldwide using the generation of electricity through the tidal energy. Ocean tidals are produced by the gravitational force of sun and moon, and there are only a few sites in the world where tidal energy can be suitable harnessed. Finland, Canada, having 17 to 80 meter high tides, has a potential of 5000 megawatt of the power generation. In India, we have established a Gulf of Bombay, Gulf of Kutch, and the Sundarban Delta are the tidal power sites where we can establish the tidal energy plant. Like here. So here the moment of tides rotated the turbines of the blades of the turbines is movable, and then you can say the generator is connected for the electricity production. Merits and demerits, again we can go for the learning ki हाँ, we have studies about wind energy, their merits and demerits, solar energy, their merits and demerits, their introduction part, their application, their availability. So right now we have discussed about tidal wave energy, their merits. So very less area is required because they are on the base. So no building or the infrastructure required, heavy infrastructure required in the case of the tidal energy. So that is their benefit. It is a free from pollution as it does not use any fuel, definitely. So in the conventional energy, the non-conventional energy sources, mostly these are the. So here we have discussed about the merits and the demerits of the tidal wave. So like other non-conventional energy sources, we have discussed about solar and the wind energy, where we can say the mostly these are the fuel less, no fuel are using. So there is a definitely pollutions less, noise less, you can say the free from the very less area is required because they are in the base development. It is free from the pollution as does not use any fuel. So definitely we have advantage in all our renewable energy sources. It is much superior to hydropower plant as it is totally depend of the rain which always fluctuated year to year. So definitely in the case of hydro, what will happen? We have to require the particularly rains availability ki हाँ, what is available or not in the rain. So it depends on the rain ki which are always fluctuated year to year. But in the case of the tidal, so these are generation in the way of the sea. So where these are available long time always. It does not waste like gases, ash, fuels, refuse. Tidal power has unique capacity to meet the peak power demand effectively when it is work in the combination with the thermal and the hydro system. So this is the merits and the advantages of the tidal waves, and the demerits, or you can say the limitation. Though tidal power plants cannot be developed only if natural sites are available. As the sites are available on the bay, which will be always far away from the load center, so the power generation involves more transmission cost. Mostly in the case we have set up the plant nearby the utilization as well as the availability of the sources, so that transmission cost will be the minimized. But in the case of tidal, so these sites are available, so that's why the transmission cost will be increasing. Supply of power depends upon the timing of tides and not continuously. And to solve this problem, double basin with pump storage must be made. So what will happen? Double basin with the pump storage, so they can generate the tides. So if they generate the tides, again the moment of the tides will be higher and the electricity will be produced. But in the case of with pump storage, what will happen? We have to extra power given to the or the investment to the pump storage system. So that's why their capital cost of the plant is high. The navigation is obstructed. So this is all about the demerits and the restriction of the tidal waves. So next topic will be covered in a next chapter. Thank you.